First, Sarah, thanks for having me on. And I got to tell you, there's hope in working people's heart today because dignity and humanity and optimism and compassion have been restored in the White House. So we needed a day like this, but in the days that come, we need much, much more. As you mentioned, we need a workers' first agenda. We need bold and decisive action to address the inequality of income, inequality of opportunity, and inequality of power. We need Democrats and Republicans alike to work together to get the pandemic under control, to keep workers safe, and then get rid of our antiquated labor laws that prevent workers from getting fair wages and fair benefits and economic security.
I wanted to ask about the minimum wage when it comes to leveling the playing field for workers and boost wages, something you mentioned. It's a pillar of President Biden's economic stimulus package, raising the minimum wage to $15. But we already see, almost 30 states have done that. How many workers would that actually benefit in terms of higher wages?
Millions. It would actually help millions of workers out there right now that are getting less. Because first of all, there's the timing of when those states get to $15. Some states have stretched it out over a lot of years, but it would still not affect the other ones. And millions of workers would be benefited by that. The economy would be benefited by that because those workers would create demand, and that demand would create jobs.
And are you encouraged, Richard, by a couple of the comments yesterday by Treasury-nominated Secretary Janet Yellen that you don't think it would have a big impact on unemployment?
I'm sorry, say that again, Wilfred?
Would a national minimum wage create unemployment?
No, it would not. I think it would do exactly the opposite. Well, look, we've increased the minimum wage 30-some times, and every time we do it, somebody says it's going to create unemployment. It really doesn't. Workers get more money in their pockets. They spend the money, they create demand, and that demand will create jobs. That's how we spiral upward, by increasing the buying power that workers have. And increasing the minimum wage would do that.
So you're clearly in support of that one. Wanted to ask you about some other early specific policy actions that President Biden is taking, canceling the Keystone XL pipeline, reversing that decision and that construction. Richard, is that going to cost a lot of energy jobs?
That's going to cost some jobs. Look, it's nothing that's a surprise. He said he was going to do that last March or last May, so we knew it was coming. The timing sort of set us back a little bit. Yeah, that will do away with some jobs. Hopefully, in place of that, we'll put in a very, very big infrastructure bill, $1 trillion infrastructure bill, and we'll make up for those jobs plus a lot more.
Richard, what are you looking out for in terms of policies with China specifically? Do you welcome the tone of the last administration towards China, and would you like to see it continue?
Well, I think the tariffs, the 232 tariffs should stay in place for a while because China has cheated. They've created an oversupply and they dump those things. And until we get those under control, I'd like to see them change. But the last administration thought that we could do that alone, and we simply couldn't. It has to be a multilateral approach. We have to join with our allies in Europe and Asia and Japan and in Australia and other places, and all of us address the problem and say to China, look, you're going to play by the rules, or we're not going to play with you. You're not going to be able to dump your supplies, because when it's only us, they send the oversupply to somebody else and they send it into this country, so they bypass the tariffs. I think keeping them honest, getting them to look at currency manipulation that they've done over the years and making them play by the rules is a policy that we should address and adhere to, and I think this administration will do that.
Richard, thanks for joining us. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.